Oh, we got a game. All right, it's good. But I'm gonna have some servers up. I'm just kind of gonna work on that stuff. So it's gonna be a fun release, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun once that's out. And but still, a lot of things to do. Got to put up some, promotions, and pages gonna be set up on all the social platforms, and I gotta make a trailer for it, obviously. Like video, video editing is kind of what I do, and I haven't really been doing that for quite a long time. All right, so here we go. Got a first game here for tonight. It's on Trapped. It's a game between ArcticSea and Janitor, and I also have a England versus Ukraine matchup. So this is it's a really nice little start of our day. So if you're not familiar with this standalone mod, the main changes is basically just a change of the game rules, first and foremost, where you have, well, you might know this already, you have a slightly bigger vision range of pretty much every unit, and they have been altered so they have a longer vision range and weapons range. There's no auto targeting versus buildings, so you pretty much have to micro your targeting versus buildings in your base. Something that was pulled off the official Red Alert mod like 6 months ago. Yeah, and a few other things that we're going to discuss. Quite a few balance patches in there, and if you're curious to see exactly all the changes, you can go again down to the stream panels. There's some links there to the wiki page of the Unplugged, Red Alert Unplugged. And all the changes are listed up there. Pretty much all of them are. And that's going to be updated with the alpha release on the April 6th. So quite a few changes. Most of them are like small adjustments, but they have tended to have a significant effect. All right, so let's cast the game then. We do have a Mr. Janitor on the top left side, playing as Ukraine. Going for a War Factory opener, and we have our allied player here on the bottom right, also with the War Factory opener. So it looks like we're going to have a eco-heavy game here, at least for the outset of this game. It's kind of weird playing without music. You can hear the music, but I just added it into the stream panel. I might actually have to change that to get into the mood. So here we go, ArcticSea scouting the War Factory opener by Janitor with this Ranger. You can see the Ranger vision. It looks pretty long. It has oh, it's going to hunt down and kill the engineer. That's a nice catch for the Ranger, and it's going to get away as well. But you can see the vision range is quite big for the Ranger, and that kind of just shows how the kind of the scaling of the vision range kind of turned out. It's just one more from the original, but it looks pretty awesome. And oh, just lost that, but the flak truck of Janitor killed it. So it's a nice kill there. No more scouting information for ArcticSea. The music's kind of bothering me. I have to pull up the music. Again, you can hear the music. I can't. So I need to. As I said, I'm a little bit tired, and I need the Red Alert music there to get me in the mood. So let me just find it here for a second. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Music and sound. Frankie Placky Jukebox. No. That was wrong. Classic franchise. Red Alert. Enhanced. And there is the soundtrack. Basically the exact same soundtrack as you're listening to now. And let's kill the music in the client. And just let me know if the sound levels are okay. Very often you have like a different sound level. Well, there's a difference in what I'm hearing and what the stream is hearing. Sometimes it can be a pretty big difference, and if you let me know early, I can adjust it, and it makes it better for you guys to have a watch of the stream. Lundis TV is hosting the stream. All right, I'm gonna return your favor on that, Lundis. If you find some players that want to play a game, some high-tier players, practicing for Raggle, absolutely, we're just going to jump on that right away. This stream is basically just to kind of test case the game, just to make sure I didn't screw things up in the transition from the mod maps onto a actual mod. All right, so here we go. A bunch of harvesters induced for transfer here from Janitor. Only has has the 2 refineries onto 1 patch, but let's see. It's currently on 10 seconds before he got his new refinery up. You know, in open array, it doesn't take too long to kind of get your economy hurt. Janitor's going to kill the middle oil derrick. So getting some more map control. Let's see. Janitor. There's no expansion for Janitor. I think that's a problem. ArcticSea is already up here with his own MCV. With his this is a really nice spot for ArcticSea to take. There's like 1+2 ore patches here. ArcticSea can pretty much just stay on this expansion for quite a long time in this game, and it's going to be he kind of already kind of settled his economy for at least the mid game. The Janitor, on the other hand, is not really focusing on this expansion just as of yet. It's building heavy tanks and some infantry, I guess. Now, let's be fair. ArcticSea is renowned for being a very he's a very strong player, and might be a mismatch here for Janitor, but might still have his fun. It's going to produce his army and move it north. Well, that's exactly the opposite of what it's actually moving against. It's actually moving south. Oh, and it's catching off an MCV. Oh, if he moves his flak trucks to stop its deployment, looks like he's going to kill it anyway. So that's a nice little win here for Janitor. He should be able to kill this with ease. Yeah, even the camera pillbox will not be able to stop that. Nice, they're catching it. Catching the MCV pretty much for free. That was pretty much required for Janitor to keep himself in the game. It looks like, as he doesn't have any expansions for himself. He's producing it now, so he's gonna actually plan its expansion. And they're both on radar tech right now. So yeah, that was really important for Janitor, killing off that MCV. And comes a counterattack from ArcticSea. Nice Tesla coil, killing off the medium tank right away. It's gonna kill this little infantry harassment here pretty quick. So really nice placement of that Tesla coil. Not necessarily intended, but that's gonna just save Janitor from a lot of hurt. It's gonna kill this off easily. By the way, you saw ArcticSea running off with a single medium tank, and you might think, like, what's the point of that? Wow, one flamethrower! Just doing so much damage to this blob in retreat. How did he get there? By himself? The medium tanks has been buffed quite significantly on their heavy armor damage. So they're actually pretty strong as a kind of harassment unit, just setting one or multiple medium tanks around the map. They're gonna kill off harvesters so fast. Oh no! Janitor going him blind with his MCV expand to the south kind of neutralized his well, way back into the game. That's such a big problem, because now a Janitor is about to get broke, and it's currently long distance harvesting, and ArcticSea then just controls the bottom left side. Boo. Hey, Mr. James Bond. Mr. James Bond. How's it going, man? Love your map. We saw we've seen a couple of maps from James Bond coming into the pool. Among them are Burning Plains, a very good 2 versus 2 map. Been popularized the past, well, I would say for the past months. And also one of my favorites, the Another Tomorrow. Not as popular within the community, but I believe it's a pretty good map, so I tend to put it on from time to time. So here we go. ArcticSea with his positions, gonna have his artillery play up here, and there's like once the allies has you outpositioned, it's pretty hard to break as a Soviet player. Like Janitor at this point kind of is supposed to be thinking about his maybe his tier 3. Because he doesn't have his expansion up, and he needs well, basically because he needs to deal with the artillery and anti-air gun, and it's pretty hard just with tier 3 for Soviets. ArcticSea just coming in from behind, and there's pretty much nothing Janitor can do about it. Janitor's going to go for the counter attack because why not? He just needs to find a way to deal damage. Unfortunately for him, ArcticSea is already here with a pretty buff army. It's going to just wipe out this attack, and that should be it for this game. Janitor just getting his main base killed. GG. GG. Oh, okay. Well, this is like a mod, so it's not easy to get people to just jump on right away. Oh, we're gonna have a game on Desert Rats. So I didn't really expect that. So I'm just happy for any two players to just come in here and play their games. All right, this is Desert Rats. So as you saw, you know, we said this might be a mismatch. But this map kind of helps Janitor a little bit because you don't really have to move out from your main base soon. You can go for radar check opener. You can do a little bit. You can do quite a few different things here with just one base, as opposed to maps such as Trap, where you're pretty much required to go out and grab yourself an expansion at a certain time. Now, this map has a 2 oilers in the back as well. So that just adds to the starting eco and a pretty safe grab here for both players. And there's a couple of ones in the middle. And the only real expansions here, like you have these 2 ore patches in the front, which are kind of tied into the main base. Pretty much is. And then you have 2 expansions to the corners. So a very small map, one of the smallest, I would say, competitive gap. SoScared is bad at the game, yeah. That's why I like to watch. I like to watch other play, man. So yeah, very small map. Desert Rats used to be very popular, but in general, people just kind of have this expansion play, ingrained into their play. Wait, ArcticSea is building walls. I didn't really think about that, but wait, how did it get to build this wall? You're supposed to be able to build walls, I think 7 cells out from the building, so I guess that's fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, he can actually line build a wall around here. So they cost like 100 here, 100 here. You can build like a couple more for a few $100. That's gonna cost you, but I don't know. I guess you can do that. Alright, so Janitor here. War Factory first opener. Getting an early ranger. It's going to scout with this. Same thing for ArcticSea with his... no, it's not going to build a flak truck. So this ranger might be able to do something. He might be able to snipe the engineer from ArcticSea before he grabs his oil. I would expect him to go down here now. No, it looks like he's just going to guard his engineer. So it's going to be an equal cap here with the middle oil lurks from both players. It's true. I'm certainly scrappy. When I play well, I can play really well, but like once I kind of fall off the wagon, I just look like a fucking noob. I look like I just don't belong in any game whatsoever. All right. So nothing's really happening. Flak truck could come in here and kill the barrels maybe, and maybe try to kill off the oil there. That might be just worth doing. Looks like they're just gonna play it careful. Oh, this ranger kind of saw the engineer, or maybe not. Now ranger will just lose up front to the flak truck. It's much faster, has a longer range, so it's a beautiful unit to just run around. And oh, we might just have to just escape for the rest of this game. But you want to keep your first vehicle alive, your either your flak truck or your ranger, because you just want it to just run around and scout. It's getting picked off by the flak truck, so the Janitor won't have that. But nice little brave move here by ArcticSea. So let's see what are they actually planning. So ArcticSea going for the radar opener, not really unusual to see on this map. As you can imagine, like artillery is having all these ridges around them, and Heinz, obviously being able to fly over the ridge is going to be powerful here. Janitor doing the same thing, also just kind of base crawling onto the patches. So we're gonna have, we're gonna have like a tier 2 versus tier 2 Soviet versus England, or Ukraine versus England, rather. And they're gonna be late with their service depot, so they're just gonna, play their tier 2 game. That's nice. So let's see, 2 helipads up for Janitor, and 2 airfields up for ArcticSea. Wall Illuminati. Sup, Abarat. Illuminati confirmed. Yeah, I'm pretty much just using the playbook of the Illuminati to push the Unplugged mod, and it's gonna work as it always does. Oh, spots the artillery. You actually have a free kill here on the artillery, and it's a pretty easy kill. You don't really. Well, he didn't know that the yak was out, but just getting your artilleries out there, you're just gonna risk losing it to a free yak. The V2 is out, so ArcticSea is not gonna have any trouble defending this push. And as I look up here, what is Janitor gonna do next? So just gonna continue with this. Janitor can just kill off the flak truck. It's gonna kill off the V2, so they can't really push into each other too hard. And another thing about this map is that it's not that obvious of contention areas on this map. You have pretty much in the middle here, there's some gems here, but you just don't care about that. And there's these corners, so that's kind of where the action kind of heats up a little bit, because eventually you're going to have one corner expansion. Ah, another kill there, but loses the yak. Not really worth it. Looks like Janitor's gonna go for the bottom expansion. No, it's gonna take this little spot first. And but on the other side, ArcticSea is actually going for the tech center. So I think that's not a bad move, as long as it's gonna have access to this next patch, as opposed to Janitor, who actually moves this MCV. So getting his tech center up right away is I think it's a good move. But at the same time, he needs to be careful about this Heinz, because Janitor already has 5 Heinz up, and once you get to that number, if you don't control your opponent's Heinz numbers, then you could quickly get into trouble. They will just kind of prevent you from expanding properly. Oh, never mind. ArcticSea actually built a service depot and actually expanded here with his MCV, huh? So it's taking up to tier 3, and he's going for the expansion. ArcticSea is actually building the new Ukrainian unique unit. I was wondering if you're ever going to see that on stream, but this is a Mammoth KV-8. It's a unit that that 5S has kind of designed like a long time ago, and it was kind of just forgotten in time. But here it is, and I'll explain a little bit more about the inclusion of that into the game. But basically, it is a. Ooh. By the way, Janitor's doing great work. Loses 1 Hind there. Oh wait, loses 3 Hinds. That's actually pretty bad. But this unit right here, it's basically a flamer tank, so it does pretty poor against the vehicles and everything else. But against units, it's a pretty damn good unit. So this Mammoth KVA is going to stand against this pretty easily, just light tanks and rangers and some infantry. It costs the same as the Mammoth tank, so 2,000. It does not have anti-air. It does poor against vehicles. It does kind of medium damage, like decent damage against buildings, and it just demolishes infantry. So it's just another unit just added to Ukraine. I know, as Ukraine is kind of the kind of just kill and murder and bomb things to shit, faction. I kind of just wanted to just play around and just see how it performs. So this is kind of like this is sort of like a playtest unit, but so far it has just kind of performed admirably. And if you remember, if you follow the MatMap series, I kind of just tested out a couple of things, like the German medium tank, the sniper drop, and they actually didn't make it, despite kind of having a much more, I don't know, like a bigger potential. Like in my eyes, the Mammoth KV-8 was kind of just a kind of a dice roll change. Let's go. All right, let's see what happens. actually just had a much better fit into the gameplay than I ever imagined it would be. So it still has to kind of prove itself over time, but it looks like a winner, and we're gonna just, you know, keep it in there for the time being, at least for the alpha mod, the alpha release. Wait, the alpha version. I don't know how to name things, but. And here are the medium tanks gonna run in here. And to the front, pretty much unprotected. Oh, here's a power bomb from ArcticSea is gonna come in. Oh, he places the Iron Curtain right in the front just to keep the army here, and that means it's just complete wipe. Where did the KV-8s go? Okay, there's just still one there. So ArcticSea, despite kind of getting risky with his Tech 3 and expansion, is still kind of in here. Basically with the one KV-8 left. There's nothing really else that he has. Oh, and you can see the Mammoth KV-8 is also slightly faster than the Mammoth, just not by much, but you can kind of move it around. So this is a problem for ArcticSea. It's just gonna have to keep building the flak trucks, and the Heinz just gonna keep on doing the damage. He's lost a lot of Heinz, maybe too much actually, to kind of dominate this game, but. Yeah, ArcticSea just gotta be careful about this Heinz. It looks like this. If he keeps doing that, ArcticSea is gonna be fine, because currently he's just building Mammoths and Mammoth KV-8s. What do we call? What am I don't know what to call them actually. Well, I'm gonna call them Mammoth KV-8. That's a nice name, but I guess KV-8. Doesn't it compete with V2 in a way? Yeah, it does. It does kind of do that. It is a tier 3 unit. It is. You can also put it on the front. So it is. Oh wait. And that's what you do with so many Heinz, killing off that MCV. It's very expensive, and of course it competes with your other vehicle production. So it remains to be seen exactly like what kind of role it will inhibit. But from what I've seen so far, they kind of tend to move Ukraine into a kind of mix of Mammoths and Mammoth KV-8. Mammoth KV-8s by themselves, though, they aren't really that strong. Like, if you have like a couple of tanks, if Janitor just builds a couple of medium tanks here, you can actually just easily stop these Mammoth KV-8s. You can see they kind of going to get a ore refinery here. And backed up by a couple of mobile tanks, that's really nice. But yeah, one medium tank here is going to just gonna chase away this whole blob. So it does have its weaknesses. But one thing I actually noticed people doing, kind of mixing up Mammoth tanks and Mammoth KV-8s, and it's a pretty deadly recipe, because then you kind of have everything mixed in there. Here I have actually some Tusk missiles from the Mammoth KV-8, but again, not too strong. So if you can mix in like regular Mammoths with this, then you have a pretty dangerous mix of units. So ArcticSea kind of just being pushed back here, and the KV-8s cannot really stop anything. There's no, except for the rocket soldiers, there's no really anti-armor here for ArcticSea. But it does have the Iron Curtain up and ready, so he can push up pretty quick. And he does. It's stuck behind there, and it does have the expansion to the bottom left. So he's still in fine shape. But this game is kind of moving into an odd direction, as you already have all the ore on this very small map. Kind of harvested out. So we're going to get it in a pretty scrappy game eventually. If ArcticSea can keep these rocket soldiers alive in this push, and somehow, these Heinz are currently reloading. He's going to do a lot of damage to this. It's gonna be careful. Keep those rocket soldiers in the back. And here we go. Mammoth KV-8 versus Pillbox. Nope, not really that much, but the rocket soldiers obviously will. Here comes the Heinz. The mobile attacks are in the back. The Iron Curtain is ready, so Janitor's gotta be careful with this. He cannot really just engage and crashes the Hind into the rocket soldiers. Oh yeah, turrets also. Turrets would actually be a pretty good, good counter. You can see how the turret just never dies against this. But the MCV, it looks like it has its days numbered. And what's happening on the right side? Well, there's some MiG in play. Janitor's kind of pushing on this area as well. Looks like ArcticSea is going to get his burn ready, killing up that refinery and wait, mine layers for Janitor. Huh. Well, I guess he can sort of mine lay the right side, but he needs to deal with this. Well, there you go. Camel pillbox stopping those KV8s. He needs tanks basically. Iron Curtain flags here. That's interesting. Power plants are going to come down. Oh, they're running in, trying to find some mines, but oh, Janitor is not paying attention. He's just going to lose his hands for free. It looks like. Yep, one goes down, the other goes down as well. The power bombs miss, fortunately for Janitor. So it looks like Janitor is kind of holding, but he is in trouble. He needs to reclaim this area to the bottom left, or mid left. And ooh, killing off that MiG. And I was going to say he's going to have to deal with MiGs as well, which by the way also had a pretty significant buff. Having their ammo being delivered in two strikes instead of 4. So, but yeah, they're still expensive, obviously. So there's the tech center for Janitor. Didn't really keep track of that. Looks like ArcticSea wants to get that off. Still 7 minutes though, so I'm not sure this tech center will play too much of a role in this game. And it's gonna save it, I think. ArcticSea is actually capturing this this area. Wait, 3 war factories. And what is he doing with it? Well, maybe this is not a map to build those 3 war factories on, because you just eventually just gonna get, you know, mined out, and this is gonna happen. You're just gonna have all your harvesters being used as frontliners instead. So here you can see 1 and 2 hits does not kill the MCV, just as the original does with 1 MiG, but does deliver their damage much faster. And we do have a gap generator here for Janitor, but he needs more than that. He needs a way to just push in here. There's not that much that Janitor has to do to push in. He does have quite a bit of infantry here, and it should not be any problem pushing into this. All the harvesters are just being pushed in here. Iron Curtain harvesters. So if Janitor just pulls back and just don't bother with this, kills off the rocket soldiers, he's just going to be completely fine here. He just needs to target the rocket soldiers, and then he needs to deal with this little move here as well. 3 longbows here for Janitor. Loses 1 there to kill off the KV8. But he's going to lose longbow. I think looks like it's going to be a little bit too much coming in here from ArcticSea, but I don't think Janitor's choices in this game was too bad. It's just that he lost a little bit too many hinds, and wasn't able to control the game with that advantage early game. It's a good game, actually a pretty good game here for being on Desert Rats. So that was really nice. Streambot is spamming the chat. Oh, we're gonna have a German versus Germany though. Oh, that's so nice. So we're just gonna circumvent that. Harvesters. Share the same. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to fix that for the repository, but obviously I'm not gonna do it now. Well, I could kind of do it if there's no all self-healings. Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah, I was gonna say there might be a stream here a little bit later by Lundis or someone else, and we're just gonna jump onto that. But if that's not happening, then I'm probably just gonna go into my desktop and just fiddle around with it, just look around, and you can watch me kind of derp the code live, because why not? Anyway, this is the map called Another Tomorrow. It's the latest reversion. and it has been kind of reduced in value on the top side, slightly less ore. This used to be like a pretty big ore patch compared to what it was now. This had like a revision which has a gem mine in it. And other than that, and also there's like a gem mine here, but oh yeah. But this revision is just my favorite. It just seems to have like all the areas in proportion, and also has this area here as kind of like a, I don't know what to call it, like a very contested area with a lot of action, and then you have these open spaces here as well. So it has kind of a little bit of everything. Also have the starting positions here behind like a nice little ridge here. So you can get the early game pretty safely if you decide to kind of just stay back and get your eco up, or maybe like do a tech rush or something like that. So I kind of like this map. It adds for a lot of variability. And the older games that I had on stream play it out pretty nicely, so that's good. Also, something I want to point out is that I always kind of compare when you're running a stream and you're casting games off stream. Like the case of that is that you pretty much just go on game by game and you have no idea if it's going to be good game or bad game. So like if you have a consistent row of good games on stream, not on stream, but just like spectating or when you're map playtesting, then you can better evaluate if a map is good or not. As to, for example, if you have like a casting setup where you're picking up the best games from the community, then you just get the best games, but you won't really have an idea of whether or not a map is good or anything like that, you know. So that's also kind of the advantage I've got with having the stream and just map placing in general, where you kind of get a lot of information, but it's accurate information, and it's wonderful, you know. You saw also NA doing that with his map playtesting in the lobby. Like he's produced like a ton of maps, and from what I'm told, like he's just doing better and better at it. You know, knowing how to make a map good, and just getting tons of information. Just doing that a lot. All right, so Germany mirror matchup. We're gonna have a double ref here by ArcticSea, and looks like this was a wait, what? Oh, sorry, I'm a little bit late into the game. That's the second War Factory I'm actually watching. So. But this is definitely viable. This is another tomorrow, and you actually get another patch here for free before your expansion. With this forward command, you can actually place this refinery here. So wait. Okay, that's the second War Factory. So ArcticSea could actually place like another refinery before this MCV gets into place, and because of that, he can actually afford to get this second War Factory up. Now I'm curious if he's going to go like chrono tanks in this game. That might be the case. Germany does not have access to the German medium tank in this version, and the simple reason for that is that the German medium tank, although it was very good for people that used it, but for people who like wanted to choose Germany for other reasons, say like the chrono tank or the advanced chronosphere, or they maybe pick a random faction and they got Germany, and they're kind of macro oriented. They don't really care too much about micro. The German medium tank kind of just was a little bit painful because you pay a higher price. It costs like 1050, like 100 less than the heavy tank. So if you didn't micro the German heavy tank, it didn't really give you an advantage. So for the time being, I just kind of put it in the archive, and might have to revisit that sometime after the release or something like that. The KV8 though is kind of a different story. But I already talked about that, so okay, Janitor is going to go on the top side here and try to bunker up this nice little juicy area. ArcticSea wanted to go to the south and get some map control here, with his base here also having like a little bit control of the two bottom patches here, which are kind of just closed off of the middle of the section of the map. And again, we do see Janitor kind of skipping out on the army a little bit. Nope, actually it's just coming from behind. And with the Janitor being the one who kind of just initiates this push a little bit. Okay. This medium tank's a little bit too up front. It's going to lose one medium tank before the engagement. But here comes the infantry. There, medium tanks of ArcticSea is just gonna make this a trade altogether. But oh, mechanics for Janitor. Oh, it's losing the mechanics. Janitor cleaning up this army here, leaving him alone with this army. He's gonna be able to push this MCV back with ease, no problem. Pillboxes are not a match here for tanks in general on this mod, and he's gonna have to move away. Gotta be quick though. This medium tanks does have faster speed than the MCV, and it's gonna eat up the HP so quickly. It's gonna get away. It looks like. Okay, that's good. But that means kind of Janitor is killing off the map control that ArcticSea was going with this expansion. So nice early engagement here for Janitor. Counter push here into the base. There are two artilleries though, unprotected. Janitor really needs to protect those artilleries. No, it's not. Okay, it's gonna lose at least one artillery here. And there's a hind though. That's really nice. If he keeps one artillery alive, okay, that's good. He's gonna be able to defend that. Also, he's kind of pushing it further here into the base of ArcticSea, but that should. Another wow, mechanics just going to death in this game. Sad to see. Yeah, it looks like ArcticSea is kind of being pressured here a little bit by Janitor. Also, his expansion here is a little bit weak. There's just like one refinery here, and looks like he's just gonna. Oh wait, it's going north. I think ArcticSea might make a mistake. I'm not sure, but this MCV is going north. So ArcticSea is not going to get an expansion here anytime soon, unless I'm missing something here. This MCV is so in danger. Okay, he places it before the hind deals the damage, but this MCV might just be dead regardless. How are you going to stop this? Either the hind's going to kill the MCV, or the tank's going to kill the MCV. Alright. Yeah, this MCV is dead. ArcticSea is in problems. No, he's in trouble. You can't be in problems. You either have a problem or you don't. But okay, Janitor is doing a good job. Using his tier 2. Seems like he lost his artillery, but this bunker to base here by Janitor seems like a much better choice here. There's a second war factory for Janitor as well. Nice to see that second war factory is being used here by both players. But ArcticSea desperately needs to have another MCV coming in here and taking something here to the south, because he's slowly getting broke. He's still kind of insisting on staying here on the front though, right in front of the army of Janitor, which now has access to a lot of hinds. 5th hind being produced at the moment. Yeah, I kind of fear. I'm kind of fearing here for. I'm fearing a little bit for Mr. ArcticSea. Hello, Whippy. Open RA. Whippy. And not on school. Janitor's units are blown to the right by the wind. Yeah, I actually don't notice it. Oh, this MC is going down. I didn't really, actually. I kind of gotten used to it, but I think the wind is. I heard some people kind of complain that they don't really like the wind effect on this map. It's kind of in the way. I honestly didn't notice it before you said it, and I didn't last time either. So I guess it's just kind of something that you get used to maybe. But I remember like Sirocco as well had this kind of very intense effect, and I think like some maps can do it, but it's pretty hard to pull off. Alright, ArcticSea cannot really contend with his army. Where is ArcticSea? Yeah, ArcticSea is kind of broke, so he just never rebuilt his army, and I think this is going to be in a game ender then. It's pretty rough. But at the same time, Janitor gets his revenge with ArcticSea getting 2 wins over him in the 2 previous games, kind of dominating the first game. Very nice. The lone infantry blob trying to push this back. Let's see. Yeah, look, like Janitor just has access to this double ore mine to the top. So there's no way ArcticSea is gonna come back here, is it? I don't think I have to eat my words in this case. I shouldn't have to. Ah, okay, that's a good point. So the stream encoding makes it worse. Yeah, you might be right. I'm gonna have to watch the VOD, but it looks like on the stream client, I can actually see it. It's a little bit more apparent that what I'm watching actually. So yeah, you might be right on that. It would be nice to have like a toggle, like you can turn off the weather effects. All right, nothing to stop this high. It's gonna kill up another MCV. He unpacked it. Oh! I was going to say maybe unpacks it so we can recapture it with an engineer, but I mean mechanic, but that did not happen. ArcticSea looking pretty thin. There's the tech center, longbox being produced. I was kind of hoping to see chrono tanks in this game as well. Chrono tanks obviously still a little bit of an obscure unit, but they've been buffed pretty significantly on this mod. Not like a crazy amount, but just the just the range of which you can chrono. They also have stronger heavy armor damage, slightly more, like 10% more, I think, than the original. I think it was like 10%, and also have a pretty beefy vision range, but they have a pretty good vision range. All right, GG has been called. So good game. Good game by Janitor. Just kind of going in with aggressive push into the middle. Taking away the map control from ArcticSea. Also with the safe expansion on top. Kind of put the game in his favor.